Hello, welcome back to Learn Oikonomia. This is the last part of the Keynesian consumption function. I have done several videos on Keynesian consumption function in the past. If you have not watched those videos, please go and watch those videos and then come back and you can watch this video to have a continuity. In this video, we are going to look into the changes in the income effect on consumption. In the figure, you can see that an increase in income in both the periods which shift the budget constraint outward. If consumption in period 1 and 2 are both normal goods, then this increase in income would raise consumption in both the periods. In contrast to Keynesian consumption function, if you look at the Fisher's model, this model says that consumption does not depend primarily on the current income. Instead, consumption depends on the resources the consumer expects over his lifetime. Changes in the real interest rate after consumption should be looked into. For that, if you look in the figure, you can see that an increase in the interest rate tilts the budget constraint around the point y1, y2. Here, the higher interest rate reduces first period consumption and raises second period consumption because of two effects: the income effect and substitution effect. This is something we are already familiar with. The income effect is a change in consumption that results from the movement to a higher indifference curve. The income effect tends to make the consumer choose more consumption in both the periods. And coming to substitution effect, it means that the change in consumption that results from change in the relative price of consumption in two periods. Now, consumption in period 2 would become less expensive related to consumption in period 1 when the interest rate increases. Just understand the case of constraints in borrowing. Fisher's model actually assumes that the consumer can borrow or save. It depends upon his or her convenience. The ability to borrow allows current consumption to exceed current income, which would mean that he consumes more of his future income today. However, in the case if you look into the two periods, you can see that the inability to borrow prevents the current consumption from exceeding the current income. And a constraint on borrowing can therefore be expressed as C1 which less than or equal to Y1. That means your consumption in period 1 would be less than or equal to your income in period 1. This constraint is known as a borrowing or the liquidity constraint. In this figure, you can see that how this borrowing constraint restricts the consumer's set of choices. A constraint in borrowing can therefore be expressed as C1 less than or equal to Y1, and which is known as a borrowing or a liquidity constraint. And the consumer's choice must satisfy both the intertemporal budget constraint and the borrowing constraint. The arena under the budget constraint would represent combination of first period consumption and the second period consumption, and which satisfies both the constraints. That's all. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more videos, and I welcome you to my Telegram group and Telegram channel to discuss your doubts.